Welcome YouTube. This is the Velvet Locks with a story time video. Okay. Well, this video is about the time when I was in my dating mode and I was, experimenting, put it that way. I was experimenting with the internet and I decided to, try one of these online dating sites. So I tried the worst one that you can possibly think of, and that was Plenty of Fish. Well, I don't know if some of you are aware of Plenty of Fish, but yes, it is to me the ghetto bootleg website. Basically, you're able to, communicate with other single men. When you look on the site, there's pretty much only ugly men on that site, with the exceptions of one or two decent looking men. But even though they're decent looking men, they're players, okay? They like to play games, some of them. Well, anyways, one day I was on this site and I decided, okay, I'm gonna give love a try and I'm gonna see, if I can meet somebody. So I went on the site and I, did my profile up and everything, put my pictures up and everything. And this was a while ago, all right? Let me just put that out there. This isn't recent. This was years and years ago. Not that many years ago, but okay, you get the picture. Well, this guy messaged me. And when I saw his picture, he's all right. Wasn't my type, but he was all right. So, when I looked at his profile now, I'm looking at all the schematics. I'm looking at the height, and I'm like, oh, okay. We seem to have a problem in that area because I like tall men. I like tall, bald-headed, big guys. Okay? He was the opposite. He was bald-headed, but he was short and bald-headed and not very attractive looking at all. In fact, he reminded me of my brother. Now, if that won't make your stomach sick, believe me, maybe the next thing will. So, okay, we started chatting on the phone, and I figured, you know what, Donna, stop being so picky, see if he's okay, meet up with him, see what he's about and everything. So I said, okay, fine, I would give him a chance if that's the case. But this was the initial start of us talking. So, we're on the phone talking and we're talking. We're actually getting along on the phone, and he's, cracking me up. Now, if you can make me laugh, you got a foot already halfway in the door. So, we're having this wonderful communication on the phone, and we're laughing and we're talking. So, we're both Christians, and, we figured, okay, that's nice. You go to what church? Okay, I go to this church. Okay. Well, anyways, so he wanted to meet up for lunch and a movie on that particular day. And I'm like, I don't know. I feel very comfortable talking with you on the phone, but I don't know about, coming out to see you. So he's like, okay, well, let's go someplace public, maybe get something to eat and go to the movies. So I'm like, after a little while of contemplating, he made me laugh and cracked me up some more. So I figured, okay, he seems a little harmless, so all right, we'll go to the movies. Well, he lived in Brooklyn and I live in Queens, so I drove out to Brooklyn to the diner that we were meeting up for lunch. Now, it was an afternoon, it was bright and sunny, it was a nice day, so I figured, okay, we're amongst the multitudes of people, so what could possibly, go wrong? So, we met up for lunch. Now, I drove to the diner. Now, he was already there, and he was out waiting, looking out for me. So I pull up in my truck now, and I pull up and I see the description of what he gave me, standing there, escorting me through to my parking spot. So I'm like, oh, dang. Ooh, this dude is not what I thought. Of course, I was not happy with what I saw. Now, mind you, he dresses nice. Okay? He dresses nice. My pastor always said, if you ain't got nothing nice to say, shut your mouth. Well, he dresses nice. So anyways, I was not pleased, but of course, he was happy. Because, you know, homegirl was looking real spicy. So I get out my truck now, and of course, he looks like he's dribbling and drooling. But I was not happy. So when I finally hopped down from out of my truck, that's when I realized I'm almost looking at his forehead. That means he's really short. Now, that was a complete turn off for me. I'm sorry. I don't care how gorgeous you look. If you're short, I just can't get with that. I'm sorry. That's just my preference. I just can't get with the man on eye level, because I'm a woman that likes to wear 4 and 5 inch heels, and I'm not trying to have no man tell me that I feel uncomfortable because you look taller than me. Oh no. So, all right. I get out the truck. We speak. We say hello. Of course, he wanted to, you know, give a friendly hug. That was warning sign number 1. I should have known from that point, maybe this is not the greatest idea. So, all right. Now, we gave each other initial hug. So, okay, we figured, all right, the movie theater was a couple of blocks down the street from the diner. So he wanted to see the movie afterwards. So we figured, okay, before we go and eat, let's go and see what time the shows start. And this way we can go back, enjoy our lunch, and take our time. And then from there, walk up, you know, or drive up, whichever, and go see the movie. So that's what we did. We bought our ticket and, you know, we came back to the diner. So while we're walking now, we're deciding to have our conversation, you know, just to get a little bit more friendlier with each other, get to know a little bit more about this person. So we start talking. Now, from our conversation on the phone, you know, of course, like I mentioned, you know, he's a Christian and I'm a Christian. Well, he must have thought he heard from God.
My son, that is your wife.
Father, was that you? Because I didn't hear you say nothing. But he thought he heard from God. Now, because, you know, I'm a single woman, I have a house, I have a business, okay? He's looking at the whole picture. Now, he has a condo and he's single. But I think he's looking for a reason to, you know, cohabitat so that it would be less costly for him. So as we're talking now, as we're walking now, we're talking about, you know, future plans and stuff like this. Homeboy is already making plans to move in with me. Now, this is the first time we're meeting up, and really and truly the first time we're actually having a conversation in the same day. So it's pretty much the same day that we actually started talking, that now he's talking about, like, okay, well, you know, I truly believe this is of God. Now, this is him talking.
Now, I really believe this is of God, you know, because, you know, you're a woman of God, I'm a man of God, and I truly believe this is really a predestined meeting of God. And, you know, I've already started thinking about, all right, well, you know, this is my wife. If this is really my wife, then I have to make plans. And he's talking about what he's going to do with his condo or co-op, whatever. And, you know, he can make income from that. And then that could be a part of the household income for me and my family. And
he keep blowing me up. I ain't picking up.
I'm like, whoa. Now, this is what I'm thinking. Homeboy is making plans to move into my house. I just met dude. And he's already talking about a conversation that he had with his boy or his friend or whatever, talking about what he's planning on doing with his condo, co-op, whatever, you know, if he decides to move in with me. So I'm thinking to myself, wait a minute. We just started talking this morning. How did he have a conversation that fast from the time we hung up to the time that I'm here now, that he had a conversation with his friend And he's telling his friend what he planned on doing with his house, his place. So I'm like, whoa, he really is presumptuous. So I'm thinking, oh, red flag number 2. Red flag, no, not the white one. Red flag number 2. Why wasn't I listening to that little voice in my head? So I'm saying to myself, wait a minute. Okay, I gotta figure out how to get away from this boy, because I don't know what kind of mental state he's in if he's already sitting here talking about moving into my house. So all the time now, my wheels are turning. Now I'm trying to think. I'm thinking at warp speed now.
Like, okay, how you get out of this? How you gonna get out of this? You know, because, okay, fine, you're amongst the multitude of people, so, alright, you may be cray-cray, but, you can't be so cray-cray because, you know, you're around a multitude of people, so if he act cray-cray, then of course people gonna see him acting crazy, and if he does anything, of course everybody's gonna see he's crazy, and, you know, alright, so at least there'll be witnesses. At least you're amongst some witnesses.
So this is the thought I'm having in my head. Warp speed. Like, okay, now how you gonna get out of this? What's gonna happen? All right, you gotta make these plans. You gotta figure something out. Okay, so we're still talking now. And while he's talking, I'm thinking. So we're walking to the diner. And, you know, I'm having this conversation in my head. And I'm trying to think of a plan B.
C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, infinity and an infinity.
This is what I'm doing. So as we're talking now, we're walking back to the diner, and all right, we're talking, we're communicating in the whole 9. So we get to the diner, and you know, he's being the gentleman. He's opened the doors. Yeah, I didn't trust him at this point, because I know at this point, you know, he's already making plans on moving in. So, you know, I don't know what his mental state is at this point. So I'm just trying to get through the rest of the afternoon nicely. And I say that because I'm not trying to start nothing. I'm not trying to flinch. I'm not trying to do anything right now until I can figure out what kind of dude this man is. So we get to the diner and we're sitting down, and it was a nice diner. That was the first time I've been at this diner, and they served seafood, they served all sorts of stuff. They even had on certain days a comedy show and downstairs on the lower level. So, you know, I figured, okay, happy environment, crowded place, very, you know, nice atmosphere. Well, so we're sitting down and we're having our conversation still, and we're talking about other stuff, random stuff. And, you know, boom, lunch came, we ate. Now it's time to go to the movies. So we both drove our vehicles following each other down the street to the theater. We park and we go inside. Now we go inside, we're sitting down in the theater now. I think I did order something. Like, I don't know if I ordered popcorn or what, but I think I had popcorn and a drink. I'm not sure. But anyways, I remember being at the concession stand. But so we're sitting in the theater now, and it was the Planet of the Apes. That's when the Planet of the Apes was out. And I just loved it from when I was a young girl, and I figured the movie's coming out again, you know. So we went to see this now, and so we're in the theater now, and we're watching the movie, and the movie was really good. I really enjoyed the movie. So I went to turn to him to ask him a question, because the theater's dark. So I turned to him, you know, to say something to him. So I'm turning, and as I'm turning, I'm like, I'm shocked, I'm scared, I jumped. You know why? Because the whole time I'm thinking he's watching the movie. He's watching me in the dark. So when I turned around and I looked to him to ask him a question about the movie, all I saw was these 2 big eyeballs. Looking at me in the dark. Now, I told you already, He was not the greatest looking guy in the light. And seeing him in the dark was no better. Now, you know they say people always look better in the dark. No, they don't. Well, like I said, he was not very attractive. So seeing this figure staring at me in the dark with these big eyeballs glowing scared the bejesus out of me. And that's what made me even more uncomfortable. So I sat up in my chair now because, you know, I was sit back. I was kind of sitting up a little because the movie was getting interesting. So I was like really watching the movie, and when I turned and saw him looking at me, that's when I got startled, and I turned back slowly. And okay, I tried to relax so I could watch the movie again. So finally I'm relaxing and I'm really getting back into the movie, and I'm really curious as to all these different types of apes. But when I said something, I turned back around. When I turned back around, homeboy is still staring at me in the dark. So I'm asking him the question now, and I realize, all right, when I leaned back in my chair now, he must have thought that was one of them happy day moves, that it was okay for him now to think he can make a move on me. So while we're there now, and I leaned back because I didn't want to turn back around and see eyeballs looking at me. So I leaned back, and then when I leaned back, he tried to do one of those modes, and I was like, no. Matambe, no. Okay, I had to do a matambe on him, a matambe or whatever that African NFL player or NBA player is. No. So finally now we get through the rest of the movie, which was very good, by the way. But I was very uncomfortable now being in this theater with this man because he's staring at me. And even when I sat back in my chair, he was looking at me. Now, thank God there's always an ending, okay? And this was one of them days that I was hoping for an ending. So now the movie's finished. So, I could breathe again because now we're leaving the theater. So it was still kind of early because, like I told you, we met up early in the day, bright and sunny and shining outside. And it was still early when we came out. So I think it might have been somewhere like about maybe around 3-ish. So he wanted to talk a little bit more. And I didn't want to be rude, being that he, took me to diner. He bought my lunch and he bought my, he took me to the movies. So I was trying to still be pleasant and not be ungrateful. Because the last thing you should do is be ungrateful when anyone's being nice to you. So I was doing my part. Now we're walking through the cars to get to our vehicles that we parked side by side. So we're walking through the parking lot now, coming out the theater, walking through the parking lot. And I noticed he's of course, guys want to try to walk behind you so they can get a rear view of all of the lovelinesses, okay? So, of course, now he gets the view of my loveliness. So we get to his car. Now, he wants to go and sit in his car to talk. So I'm like, okay, all right, okay. I should have just said, nah, let me go home, because I'm tired. I'm tired. But no, I didn't do that. So like a dummy, I said, okay. So we go and sit in his car. Now, before we go to sit in his car, when we get to his car, and we start talking about, okay, we're going to sit down and chat a little some more. So now he's like, okay, but before you walk around, can I get another hug? Now I felt tormented at this point. I really did. I felt like I was being tormented because I'm trying so hard to be pleasantly nice, and I'm trying so hard to not seem ungrateful at all. But he was wearing me out because I wanted to just go home. That's all I wanted to do was just go home. So when he asked me that question, I was like so sick, but I was like, all right, no problem. I figured a little hug would not be so bad. So I tried to give him one of them church hugs, you know, the ones where you're all the way away from each other, but you know, you're like, but your body's like 2 miles away. Yeah, one of them hugs.
No. That was not the kind of hug he was talking about. Because somehow or another, when we were like this, all of a sudden now, his hand
Moves down.
Really fast though, because I didn't even realize it went that fast. But then I felt his hands on my honey, my butt, my booty, my
deliciousness.
So I'm like, oh. No. I did it with Tumbo again. No. So I'm like, this nasty. I'm thinking all sorts of stuff. Now I'm cussing in my head. And I had to ask God to forgive me, but I was cussing in my head because I'm like, this nasty mofo had the audacity to try and touch my butt. He was touching my behind. That slick move. So, like a dummy, I sat in the car and we continued our conversation. But I couldn't believe that this was supposed to be a saved man, a deacon in the church, behaving so ungodly. I mean, lustfully, put it that way. And the conversation that he was trying to have was not one that was pure. All right? Now, I'm not this holier than thou person, but if you're going to tell me you're a child of God, I'm going to start listening out for the right fruit. I'm going to start looking for the right fruit. And I'm going to make sure that what you're talking about is within our arena of conversation. So, no, he did not behave properly. And the conversation after that got a little heated because it was becoming more of a battle. And it was more like, you know,
These women in the church.
and and it was just not a nice thing. It was just not a nice thing. But long story short, after this, the conversation continued until it got to the point where I was like, all right now, you know, I figured, all right, this is a safe time now that, you know, I can go. So I ended the conversation sweetly and nicely. And I was able to go home. And I'll tell you, I was so happy when I got back in my vehicle. I was so excited when I got back on the highway. And I was even more ecstatic when I got home. Because now, if homeboy tried to call me, I could just hit the click button and not have to deal with it. But, oh my goodness, that was a date from, I don't know where. But it was not a nice place, and I would not do that again. I had 3 little warnings, red flags popping up here and there, and I should have listened. I should have looked at them. I should have discerned, used my discernment better than how I did. But yes, this is, you know, story of what happened. And really and truly, honestly, ladies, you really got to beware when you go out there meeting guys, especially strangers. You're meeting them on the internet, meeting them on the streets. Days and times have changed so dramatically that it's just not even innocent anymore just to meet somebody and want to get to know them. You know, there's so much things to think about, your safety, your health, everything. So, you know, just be very careful when you meet these people, these guys on the internet, on the websites, or even on the street. But this joker right here, nah. He was a joker. He was a player and he was a joker. And like I said, he made my stomach turn because he reminded me, he looked a little like my brother. So that right there was like a constant, and I think that's what we were arguing about in the car. Because he was trying to get a little bit more closer intimately with me. And I kept putting that matumbo on him. And I said, and plus, you remind me too much of my brother. Why did I say that? He was like,
But I'm not your brother.
and I was like, that doesn't matter. You look like my brother. So that right there is letting me know that I am not attracted to you like that. Okay? So yes, that's probably when the conversation got heated. And I had to try to figure my way out of that situation safely and in one piece, because I don't know what kind of mental state this man might have been in. But from the first jump, from the conversation we had earlier when he started talking about his furniture and what his plans are for his condo, and his plans are for moving in with me, and how he's going to help provide for the family, that was a sign to say, go home, Donna, go home. Do not continue. But I did. So, yes. Well, ladies, this is my story time. Be safe out there. Watch out for them players. Watch out for them jokers. And be very careful when you meet these men on the internet and on the streets, because now you just don't know. Your life could be in your hands, in their hands. You just don't know these days. So be very careful. Use your discernment. Don't forget, if that little voice is talking to you and telling you, no, you need to leave now, do that. Do that. Listen to that voice talking to you, because it's there to protect you. All right, ladies, so that's my story time. Watch out for another one coming. I got a doozy for you. All right? So again, as always, I will see you in the next video.